We're here at the Indianapolis Scouting Combine. Joining us now, a gentleman who has been the general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars. How many years now? 7? 8?
I think I'm going on 8. 8, I'm going on.
Woo, woo. Yeah, that means you're getting old.
2013.
Yeah, that means you're getting old. We're getting old, too.
Yeah.
Dave Caldwell. Dave Jaguar.
Dave Jaguar.
Dave Caldwell of the Jaguars,
My
is with us,
stage
ladies
name.
and gentlemen. So how you doing?
I'm great. Great. Good to be back in Indianapolis, the home of the Combine.
You were with the Colts for a while before you migrated to what? You went from the Colts to the Falcons and then to the Jaguars?
Yep. 11 years in Indy, 5 in Atlanta.
You say home of the Combine, you know it's not going to be home of the Combine.
It has to be, right?
But it's not going to be.
I know.
The movers and shakers, the people who are paid to make the big decisions are going to yank it to L.A. Does that disappoint you?
It would disappoint me. I like it here. I think this is. I think logistically it's good for all teams.
Yes, right.
It's equitable, except for the Colts get a little bit of home field advantage.
Yeah.
But I probably know more of the inner workings of it living here, in terms of the locations of the hospitals and the stadium and the surfaces that we run on and everything. So sometimes change isn't always better.
Yeah, I agree. The city's great for this because it's we all can walk everywhere. Nobody's got to get in cars and do stuff like that.
You don't even have to go outside.
No, you're right. You can go underneath the tunnels or the skywalks or whatever. Are you a fan of the reorganization of the Combine? You know, just kind of tell us how it affects your life.
Yeah, I actually I'm anxious to see how it works out. I've always had a hard time focusing at the interviews at night after dinner and from 7 until 11 o'clock at night, and you're sitting there in a room and bam, 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 you got 15 interviews and 20 minutes apiece. So I think I'm going to like the workouts at night better.
Yeah.
And being able to, hey, if I need to get up and grab a cup of coffee or Coke or whatever, I can do that.
Yeah.
So
we saw Coach Marone walking around earlier. I think you hit his baloney.
He lost weight.
He did. He looks great.
Can't get over it.
I think I think Coach Marone he's getting ready for OTAs and minicamp.
He's going to be wearing some jorts like Gardner Minshew at this rate.
I don't want to see him in jorts.
When did you know you had something in Minshew? When was the moment? When was the moment? A 6th-round draft pick. I mean, you didn't know at the time, right? It was some point after that.
During OTAs, we felt like he was really grasping things quickly, and his decision-making was really good. And then we get into the preseason, and he's playing with, we didn't play many starters in the preseason, if at all. And he had some ups and downs, and then we weren't able to sustain some drives. But if you look at what he did himself individually and said, well, if you put him around some players, he might be okay. And then after he completed 22 straight passes in Kansas City, I think we might be okay here.
Right.
And for him to do that in that opening game was pretty impressive.
So how do you balance this going forward? I mean, what's the thought of the organization right now with Foles and Gardner?
Well, I think the thought is competition is going to be great.
Right.
I think to have 2 players there at that position that, let's not forget what Nick has done in his career. And Nick is a tremendous competitor and a tremendous player and won a Super Bowl. And his body of work, is very impressive. And I think we got a new offensive coordinator, new quarterback coach, and maybe I'll just defer it to them and say, you guys figure out how to put the best team available.
Right.
But no, I think, it was unfortunate that Nick went down, but to be able to come in and have a guy come in, and now you feel good about a Gardner Minshew and what he can do.
Yeah.
When you look back on the 2019 season, and one thing that stands out, the decision to trade Jalen Ramsey, something that I don't think you guys really wanted to do, but you got to a point where you had no other choice. When you reflect on it, is there anything that could have been done differently to kind of get him to change his mind and stay where he was?
I'm sure. When you go through situations like that, it's those are organizational decisions of when you trade him and what you have to get for him. But I think I sat here last year and you asked me if I was going to trade Jalen Ramsey, and I said no, I'm not in the business of trading the best player at the position. So I never thought that it would have came to that. It did, and but we felt like if we were going to do it, we needed to get something special for it because he's a special player and a special talent. And sure enough, we felt like it was probably, if not one of the best trades in recent history, the best trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 2 1s and a 4 is a lot to say no to. We went through that whole analysis at the time, like how many players out there would you say, if you got the offer of 2 1s and a 4, get out of here, we're not giving you the player for that? That's a lot to give
especially
up.
A positional player. You can make a case for quarterbacks, but an actual positional player. And then what can you turn those picks into? Can you turn them into 6 picks or whatever it may be? So.
Well, all right, so we're in this new era of like player empowerment. They're playing they're playing GM game now here a little bit, and owner game. They're playing business. How does that change your approach?
Well, I think our approach is the same, and it comes to this. If those things happen, it's going to be on our terms too.
Yeah.
And with the Jalen situation, it just so happened that if we did not get the value we got for him, he could very well still be a Jaguar. So it wasn't like we were just going to give him away.
No, I know you weren't.
And,
I know you weren't.
So I think for us, it becomes we have these players that are empowered based off of the CBA. They have their rules, and we have our rules. But I think the biggest thing is that it has to work for us in order to do it. If not, we're going to have to keep the player, and he may be disgruntled, he may not be happy, but at the end of the day, he still has to come to work if he wants to play football.
So yeah, you're just more willing to kind of swallow that out, because like I look at Yannick Ngakoue, right? Yannick Ngakoue, you got a tough decision to make. You know, he's really good. You want to pay him. I know you drafted him. You hit gold there. But also, I guess you got to be a little worried about putting the franchise tag too, and just maybe the issues that players seem to kind of draw a line in the sand with.
Well, there is that, and I think knowing our owner and our organization is. He'll draw sand in the line too, So you try to do what's best for the team, obviously first, and then what's best for the player. And in those cases, that the player has rights, the team has rights. So we didn't negotiate at least I didn't negotiate the rules of the franchise tag or the transition tag and all that stuff. So we'll use everything in our power to keep Yannick here, and hopefully it's in a long-term deal. And if it's not, it would be for a year on a franchise tag. And then if the new CBA has a second franchise tag, we'll address that when that time comes, but we think the world of him.
Yeah.
So.
How do you feel about playing 2 home games in London this year?
Well, I'm going to get my fill of fish and chips for sure. But it'll be a challenge, and I'm up for the challenge.
But isn't it better? Don't you have an advantage? You're playing 2 games back-to-back, 2 home games. The second game, you guys are settled in. You're ensconced. You're ready to go, whereas, the team you're playing the second week is still adjusting to being in London.
And it'll help our first week, too, because historically when we got in there, we've had to do a lot of community stuff on that Friday or Saturday, a lot of rallies and stuff like that. So we're going to push all that back until the players stay off on Tuesday. So that'll help us, going out there on that first week. And then on that second week, on the normal players day off, Monday night or Tuesday, they'll be able to do a lot of community stuff, and we'll be able to do it even better and bigger for the fans in London. The biggest challenge, I think, will come to be what does our schedule look around those 2 games?
Right.
And how long are we going to be away from home? When's going to be our home game before London? Because if you have a home game before London, that's 3 home games in a row. If you have a home game after London, that's 4 home games. So it's going to be interesting to see how the schedule comes out with that.
Well, last year we both picked you guys to win the division. So this year we won't.
Perfect.
We won't jinx you out of the game.
Let's go back to 17, because you probably didn't pick us in 17.
Probably didn't.
Right.
Probably didn't.
We definitely did.
All right, all the best. Congratulations. 8 years and counting in Jacksonville, and we look forward to talking to you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for your support, guys.
Good luck, man.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.